Hey interwebs, it's JackitK, and welcome for the next edition of my playthrough of Pikmin. Last time on our adventures, we made a modest amount of effort in repairing the dolphin, getting 2 ship parts in a single day, but I think we can blow that record out of the water personally. What do you guys think? Today, I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is, and do just that. Unfortunately, maybe fortunately for you guys, live commentary JackitK is dead. I pretty much went full concentration mode on this day. I don't even think I plugged in my mic, which is a little bit disappointing considering how the day ends, but I'll just leave that as a little foreshadowing for you guys. First thing I want to do, because it's the most time consuming thing we got, yet the easiest to put into the background, is load up our red Pikmin army, or at least a chunk of what we have left, and send them over to that wall that we started at the very end of yesterday. Also, I guess it wouldn't hurt to have a bit more nectar, so I'll have some Pikmin work on that. They'll definitely plucked all the nectar by the time I finish setting them up on the wall. Especially now that I can afford to put more than one Pikmin up against the grass, because they're all flowers and they're not going to be greedy for the apples. No, I wasn't going to say something else. What gave you that impression? So we're going to have our reds work on that wall while we take care of a few other things. I'm going to be taking the remainder of our reds and a few yellows to work on another task, let's just say. Guess first and foremost, they're done plucking and getting as much nectar as we're going to get. So we might as well get everyone out of the ground and just charge them right in there. You may be asking, JackitK, what about the yellows who you immediately plucked out of the ground and didn't give any time to grow? Won't they want nectar? Oh, I'm sure they will, but the reds are more important, and we're gonna get other opportunities very soon to get more nectar. That may not make any sense, because from what we saw yesterday, the nectar that was over here at base was the only nectar we had access to. But oh, trust me, there's more than meets the eye to this place. Now you may notice that I've ignored this area over there the other day. A big part of that is I think today would be a good day to go about that. You may be thinking, JackitK, what about that part that you left going in the other episode? The part you didn't have bomb rocks for. Oh, don't worry, my friend. We'll come back to that soon enough. First, I just gotta get all my Pikmin out here. You may notice me spin around in a circle a little bit. Personal little speedrun tactic. Pretty sure, can't promise it, but I'm pretty sure that it makes it a little bit quicker with throwing, because you're constantly around Pikmin and don't have to wait on them. It certainly feels that way. Now, if we can be a little bit stealthy, bum 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 bum, we can get to our shock absorber. But first, these rocks over here look a little bit particular, and there's some more grass. That's right, the rocks have nectar too. Like I said, plenty of opportunities to get what we need. Now this is going to be a little bit risky. I feel like sometimes bum rushing this guy works, sometimes it doesn't. He's on a hill, so like the collision detection on this guy is a little bit weird. Case in point, he should already be dead, but thankfully it wasn't as bad. I've had times where I had to reset because the trick didn't work. If your elevation is at all different, or if the enemy's just like partly on a route or a hill making him uneven, for some reason the bum rush trick won't work. Which is bad, because you have all your Pikmin on top of the guy, and he's like, oh crud, breakfast is attacking me. I better eat it before it kills me. Best of both worlds, I say. So now that the enemy's cleared, we are in the A-OK, the groove to go. Don't gotta worry about anything in between us and that ship part. Now I'm being a little bit selective with what I throw on it, because I have a game plan going in. We are going to have the Pikmin carry this back to base, but we are not going to be following them back to base. Like I said, multitasking is key to playing this game as efficiently as possible, so I'm going to get just enough and then take everyone else down here. As you can see, there's a whole bunch of bomb rocks down here and enemies. which is why I wanted to prioritize red over yellow Pikmin, but I didn't want to have no yellow Pikmin at all, because I do want to take advantage of the supplies of bomb rocks that we have available to us. Well, I feel like I was a little reckless there. Maybe I could have separated my yellows to assure that if things did go wrong, I didn't lose everything I needed to get these bomb rocks, but all's well that ends well. So they're still carrying that back to base, and we have another ship part that we can work on getting. So just gotta see if I can get as many bomb rocks as possible, because they'll be very useful to have this weapon. So my multitasking wasn't perfectly timed out, because it does seem like they're still working on it from the other side. I guess in the meantime, one, we gotta make sure that none of these other Pikmin come over our way while we're trying to do said task. I guess I just need to get a gauge of where everyone is at this point in time. Yeah, I got a lot of reds over here to work with, so I think I can just go get my red Pikmin real fast and have them finish the fence, or they can finish the fence in that little time I spent idle-dallying. Gotta make sure I got everyone here, because otherwise I'll forget. And now we have more than plenty to get this Nova Blaster back to base. So I'm gonna get pretty much all my non-bomb Pikmins on carrying the blaster back, as well as all these potential sources of pellets. And while they're carrying that back, we can start implementing our newfound bomb rocks. Here's a little trick you might not know. You can actually throw the bomb rock Pikmin further than they were intended to go, allow them to get close enough to trigger the scene of, oh, I should go over and blow up that fence. And that's why I am running back and forth more often than you would think. Because as you might have saw for a second, my cursor only goes so far, but if I throw while running at just the right way, I have enough momentum to get the Pikmin close enough to trigger, what do we want to call it, cutscene? Whatever the case may be. If we throw the Pikmin just the right way, it gets close enough to trigger an animation to throw the bomb. Even though I don't think you're really supposed to yet. I think you're supposed to wait until you actually get the ability to get up there yourself. Now with our remaining bomb rocks, we can clear out the way to that part. And yes, we are going to be getting 3 ship parts in a single day. Just gotta be very careful not to throw bomb Pikmin by mistake, because that would have been very bad. I think at this point I caught on to the fact that something's not right. They've just been standing there this whole time. And I guess it's not... Obviously it would have been more efficient if they actually got it back to base while I was taking all that time not doing anything else. But it's not gonna hurt things too much, because we've just about gotten every ship part that we possibly can in this particular day. Or at least 3 parts is normally the most I would typically get in a single day. So on a typical run, this is where I would consider the day to be at its end. We got enough to go on to the next place, and I believe we've gotten every single ship part that we are supposed to be able to get at this point in time. However, if I recall, the truly efficient runs would be at this point on day 2. And that kind of makes me feel a little bit lacking, like I could do a little something to step up my game. So, I think I'm gonna go try to get a part you're technically not supposed to, because technically, you can't pull this off in the GameCube version of the game. You have to take advantage of some special features that you can only really pull off via the power of motion controls and a relatively loose motion bar. First thing I want to do is just grab bomb rocks, because you can never have too many bomb rocks in theory. And we're gonna break that little area down up ahead. I might actually leave those bomb rocks over there, to be honest, because we may actually already be in a situation of having too many bomb rocks. I mean, I guess I don't have a choice now. So I guess the first thing I want to do, assuming our friends here don't decide to just carry things off willy-nilly, is to try to use our bomb rocks in an offense sort of way, something we haven't really done before. Now, technically, how Pikmin are supposed to fight is either throw the bomb rocks directly at the enemies, or place them at their feet so that they kill them. This is unreliable at best. The more effective but cruel way is that to have the enemy eat the Pikmin while holding the bomb rock. This will usually instant kill the enemy, but obviously the Pikmin won't get through in one piece. However, as you'll see throughout this playthrough, when I try to use bomb rocks without killing the Pikmin, you're often better off just having the Pikmin get eaten. Ironically, there's usually less casualties that way. Now here's a little trick I was thinking of. I highly recommend going into overview if you're going to replicate this trick. But essentially, you're not supposed to be able to get to that box yet. But through the power of motion controls, you can align your pointer in just a way where you can aim yellow Pikmin to the other side of that box to have them push it over. This only works because yellow Pikmin can be thrown higher than most other Pikmin varieties, which allows them to get a little bit more distance, just enough to be able to pull it off between the combination of Pikmin's better throwing capabilities and the motion controls, allowing you to get a little bit more distance than you normally could in the GameCube version. Now at this point, it's just a matter of scaling these things out and making sure that all the Pikmin that I want are either carrying something back or in a safe area, because we may not be coming back for them. We got a bit of work to do. First of all, my favorite part, the real reason why you don't want to do this part until later. This is a very narrow passageway, and there's water on both sides. I don't think we've come across it yet, but we will shortly, I assure you. Pikmin can't swim. Well, most of them. So, if the Pikmin fall in the water accidentally, then you are screwed. You are also screwed if you try to take on these guys this low in the game. These are the burrowing Snagrets. They suck. I swear. They've gotten better in Pikmin 2, I've gotten used to fighting them there, but in this game, it seems like no matter how hard I fight them, you can't seem to pull it off. The ideal way to fight them is to just attack one with all your army at once. If you do this fast enough, they won't have a chance to counteract and eat your Pikmin. Cause once they get hurt enough, they will just shake off the Pikmin and go right back into the ground. However, when you fight 3 of them at once, that strategy is kind of impossible. And by the time you get one Snagret to stop attacking, the Snagret behind it will just go and eat your Pikmin instead. I hate this. This is my least favorite part of the entire game. Because yes, there's ways to fight against Snagrets even in this game, but it's impossible to pull that off with the arrangement of these 3 burrowing Snagrets. And you can see how quickly they can eat your Pikmin if you just accidentally leave your Pikmin too close to them. Their necks will reach out, and their range is longer than you might first suspect, especially since we've never had enemies up to this point in the game that behave in this sort of way, that can actually just reach out and eat your Pikmin away. Ideally, you'll want to deal with these one at a time, and I suppose if you fight in just the right area, only one at a time will spawn. I don't have that luxury. The worst part, there is a ship part, but only one of these Snagrets have the ship part. And guess what? Both those Snagrets I killed, neither of them had the ship part. It's that third one that I didn't fight up to this point. And because of that, I am not going to be able to get this back today. So we're going to just get to the point. I kill it but just right at the end of the day, and we don't have time to get the part back. However, I am still determined, so how about we try this again, but try to be a little bit more efficient with our movements. Alrighty folks, time to take the lessons we've learned. First of all, as we are just about to learn, you may think with all the talk I've been talking about with using bomb rocks, that feeding bomb rocks to the snaggers would be an effective strategy. You may not have seen it, but the amount of damage the bomb rock does, whether it's thrown, or if the Pikmin gets eaten directly, is next to nothing. I don't know, they're just got explosive immune stomachs or something dumb like that. Wouldn't surprise me with how many dumb features this guy has. Actually, bomb rocks are very inefficient to have against Snagger, because all you do is give yourself more opportunities to have your own Pikmin army get killed. And trust me, you don't need to kill your own Pikmin army here. The Snaggers will do a good enough job for that for you. Now there's two strategies in the Disciple of Anti-Snaggerism that have developed over the time of Pikmin and its community growing. The save, but probably won't work because you'll run out of time before then, and the one where you just embrace that everyone's gonna die. Now the philosophy behind the latter is Snaggers are cowardly creatures. If you can throw enough Pikmin at them before they start eating, they will go right back into the ground. So if you actually attack them as they're coming out from the ground, if you do it fast enough, odds are they'll go back into the ground. The second one, as you're about to see here, one of his attack patterns will actually involve the Snagger getting his head stuck on the ground. That buys you more time to actually attack it before you have any risk of your Pikmin getting eaten. However, it's very rare for that attack to come by. And man, I actually wish I could have captured the live reaction I had to this. And you know what? Screw these other guys, it's just gonna be a matter of run away, get a distraction or two. But besides that, run away, screw you. I guess we have one more casualty out of it all. Rest in peace, little Reddy. Your sacrifice will not be in vain. The lives you saved from having us avoid fighting the other two Snagrets is well worth it, trust me. While I still have any sort of chance to do so, the Snagrets. I'll admit, that fight could have gone a lot more smoothly. Doesn't change my opinions towards the guys, but yeah. If I had a camera angle that worked a little bit better, aka if I was adjusting the camera so it actually felt right, for lack of a better way to describe it, then I probably would have aimed more Pikmin directly on the Snagger's head, and they wouldn't have fallen right in front of the Snagger instead, where they were in range of getting eaten. Ideally, you want to fight Snaggers one at a time, keeping a good range, and have a good camera angle where you can aim the Pikmin directly onto his head. Because if you miss, or get caught in the motion of throwing, those guys are as good as dead. But oh boy, getting a part that we technically shouldn't get this early on, it's well worth it. Plus I got the worst part of the game out of the way. The Geiger counter, this noisy gauge, is always buzzing left and right. So noisy. So much annoyance. Very noisy. It's gonna keep me up all the nights. Just one more sweep of the map to assure that I've got everything I can. Yeah, we only got one ship part, or two ship parts left in here. And I'm gonna tell you right now, both of them require things that we don't have access to yet. And even with motion controls and mentioning things in ways you're not supposed to, we will not be able to get these parts today. So anytime I have left in the day, I'm just going to use the recruit. I could just end the day, but considering that I'm not doing a speed run, I'm doing a minimum day run, I'd rather use every second I can get to restock my inventories. And I made sure I had 100 Pikmin out, so I don't have to worry about plucking them out of the ground. Anything that gets back to base will immediately be stored. And just as long as I keep an eye on my parties to watch out for stragglers, we should be able to get a little bit of last minute restocking. Very well appreciated considering the boss fight we just had. Oh, I guess I forgot about a few of these guys plucked in the ground. Well, I guess because we're coming back here eventually, it won't be too bad. As long as people are rooted into the ground, they'll be a-okay. But I did have to skip the animation by accidentally plucking. Phase Recess Impact. I now add yellow Pikmin to my list of discoveries. These creatures can wield bomb rocks, so perhaps I can use them to blast down rock walls and open up new regions. Red and yellow Pikmin, as well as bomb rock carriers. Breaking the squad if I dismiss them. And other controls. So, we lost 13 in that battle. A devastating amount in general, but considering that we pretty much had to go up against 13 Snaggers, and I'm pretty sure the other attempt of the Snagrets ended up a lot worse, I'll take it. Next time in our adventures in Pikmin, we're finally ready to go to the new area, the Forest Navel. Will we find anything that will help us in previous areas there? Find out on the next day. Until then though, I have been JackitK, and I'll see you all then. Take care. And woo! Screw you, Snagrets! Screw you all the way down to the abyss of a fiery abyss! It is essentially the PG version of my first reaction when I took down that Snagret on day 3. Man, it's probably been months at this point since I've recorded this, but it still feels just as good to think about as when I first did it on that very recording. Oh yeah.